Might be a stupid question, but is it equally effective to include internal links in the header and footer compared to within the text? Do you have any tips for internal link building in general? Yeah, so a lot of people get like really crazy with internal link building and they have all these rules about do this, do that, whatever. Well, first of all, to answer your question, do we put internal links in the header and the footer? If you consider like the menu part of the header, like your menu up like your top menu on your website or whatever. But we don't, we're those are technically internal links, but when SEOs talk about internal linking, that's not really what we're talking about. But it should still be there, and it does help like link juice flow everywhere and everything, but it's not contextual. It's the same thing as getting like a link in like a footer or a sidebar. It's just like a word and then a link, right? So context or like having a paragraph of like words around the link helps Google understand what the link is about better and gives it more relevance. So yeah, contextual links always better than non-contextual links. So yes, having menus is good, but don't try to do like crazy interlinking in your menus or your footer and stuff. Just do the stuff that makes sense down there. Your main menu should be used for like to help people navigate your website. Don't try to like do any crazy like SEO tricks with it or something like that. And then as far as internal linking in your content goes, like I was saying before, some people have like all these like crazy rules, like do this, do that, whatever. My general rule of thumb is literally just do internal links in your content that make sense to the reader. So, you have your whole website, and someone's going to be reading this article. If you have another article on your website that you're talking about in that article, and the user might be interested in clicking in to learn more about that thing, put the internal link there. Like, I don't think you need any like crazy like silo stuff. You don't need any kind of I don't know, you don't have to overthink it. Like I think this is one of those things that people like way overthink, and maybe in the past it used to be more important to kind of like try to like silo things to try to kind of like game Google's algorithm or whatever. But I think these days Google's got a lot smarter, and if you just try to link to stuff that makes sense and that you're talking about the same thing and you link to another article, you're going to be absolutely fine. And what I will say as well, though, is I do think there still is value in varying the anchor text that you use in your internal links instead of just using like the same thing over and over and over. I don't think it's as important as external link anchor text, like for you're building backlinks to your website and you're using all like exact match anchors. You don't want to do that, of course, it's not natural. But when you're doing your own internal linking, I think it can make a lot more sense to use a lot of exact match, and partial match anchor text. But still try to vary it up because there's a benefit in varying it up because you're kind of like hitting more keywords, getting more context for Google to help understand the page. But yeah, not as big a deal for as external backlink anchor text. What do you got on that, Nick?
Yeah, completely agree with everything. Contextual links are typically always going to be, or not typically, but always going to be more powerful than footer links, things like that, sidebar links. But what I would say, just the only addition I can think of is, for your footer and for your sidebar, what you want to conceptualize is like you're creating crawlability throughout your website. So what's most important to put in there is not like, stuffing, because you sometimes, especially on local sites, you'll see people where they've got like 40 or 50 links in the footer. And I think that A, looks atrocious, but also, isn't the best way to go about things. What you want to use there is your hub pages. So, for me, automatically, if I'm building a new site, then on the sidebar in the footer, I'm going to add things like my category pages, my newest articles, things that I want to get crawled so that then, these crawlers are going across the website, and digesting the data that you've got on there. So a good rule of thumb is to just keep it concise, but make sure that it allows for crawlability to everything that's, on your site.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
that would be it.
Yeah, footer, header, and sidebar. I use just only for driving traffic where I want the traffic to go, but also things that I know they need help in like figuring out how to go there, right? So
Mhm.
navigation, but also like where I'm trying to drive them, but not for just like regular like internal linking or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Just
a lot of the times you'll see like people do this crazy shit. Like they'll have this like insane footer on every page of their website with like
yeah.
hundreds of links in it. or like these crazy sidebars and stuff, or like the mega menus on their header menu. I actually saw something kind of interesting. I think it was Cyrus Shepard, the guy that uh, like was like a plant at Google, or he was a Google search
Oh
quality
yeah, yeah,
rater.
yeah. I remember his
Um,
speech
yeah, he did this
in debate.
little he put together some sites that he analyzed and some data, and one of the points that of interest was sites that had a mega menu, which is like your navigation menu at the top. When you open it, it was like a ton of links, had a much higher chance of getting hit in the most recent Google helpful content updates, which is interesting. It's not something that everyone was really talking about, but it was just kind of like one data point or whatever, something to think about. Um,
Just real quick for a visualization, like if you're having a hard time with this, you've got 100 areas served pages. You don't need all of those in the footer, but you
no,
can have a link to your areas served hub
yes.
page, which is typically a category page or something, and then you're getting a crawler there, and then you're, allowing them to
If it
crawl
was only
your
10 or
links if
20, I
it's
might consider it
categorized
though.
properly. Do what?
Would you consider it if it was only like 10 or 20 service pages, like areas
Yeah,
served?
I would still just do in the footer and sidebar just
Just an
areas
areas
served
page.
and services personally,
Gotcha. It's cleaner for sure. Less spammy.
cleaner. Yeah.
Less spammy. All right, hopefully that helps. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.